Marshall, the manager of the guide service here at Fly and Field Outfitters in Bend, Oregon. I want to talk real quick about the 3 basic knots that we all use just about every day when we go fly fishing. And the reason for learning these knots and practicing these knots is getting to where when you have to change, that you actually change. If you think when you're fishing, boy, I should change something, you should change something. And getting to the point where the knots are just an inconvenience as opposed to a day breaker. You learn these knots. Get good at these knots. We have a clinch knot, which is how we attach flies to our leader and our tippet. This is a blood knot, and this is a surgeon's knot. So we're going to talk about those 3 knots right now. The first knot we're going to talk about here is a clinch knot, basic knot that we use to attach our fly to the leader or the tippet. We will tie this knot, many times each day. So I thread through the eye of the hook, and then I create a gap by pinching down with the thumb and forefinger there, and that gap I'm going to try and maintain as I loop the leader or the tippet material around itself and then right back through that gap, and then release, pinch back down as you're holding the tail. If this was monofilament, if this was either fluorocarbon or nylon, I would moisten that before cinching it down, just like that. So now we're going to do a blood knot, which we'll use to attach a couple thicker pieces of monofilament together. It's a more elegant knot than the blood knot for this application. So in this situation, the amnesia here is going to be our leader. The monofilament here is going to be our tippet material. So create a gap here, again pinching down between the thumb and forefinger, and then we wrap around 3 times, and we'll go away from ourselves with the first one. So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll come up through that gap that we have between the thumb and the forefinger there, and then switch hands, again maintaining that gap. And now we're going to do 3 times going towards us. 1, 2, and 3, and then back down. So 1 tail's coming up through the gap, 1 is going down. Hold those tails like that. You would want to moisten this knot, and then you'd pull it tight. And you know you've got a good one when the tails are pointing away from each other like that. So that's blood knot. Now what we're going to do is surgeon's knot, double surgeon's knot, typically used to attach a piece of tippet to your leader or tippet to tippet. So we're going to use a little bit more than we think we might need, and usually we're going to moisten these 2 pieces to get them to stick together. In this case it doesn't work that good, but we can get that loop there. And then we're going to pull both the tail and the tippet so they hang right there, so we can reach through the loop and pull them both through. And then we're going to do that one more time. You can actually let go of the knot at this point, reposition your thumb and forefinger so you can again pinch both the tail and the tippet that you're going to pull through the loop. And then you'd want to moisten this as you slowly pulled it tight, so as to avoid creating too much heat friction in there. Give it a nice tug to make sure it's a good one. Put a fly on there and go fishing.